雨な子供。
Amanda Budubong.
Okay, let's see. Good. Hello. What's up, everyone? It's time for a review of a pretty cool mod, actually. Let me just check if everything's fine. Seems to be. Okay. Let's get right into the practice mode, and then we're gonna wing this because I'm here pretty spontaneously, but I did want to review this mod before the new Resident Evil comes out, and I literally disappear from this game for a few days, maybe a week. Excuse me. That's good, everyone. Also, thanks for the sub, Mega. That appreciate it, bro. Thanks for the 11 months.
Devil Jin. Devil Jin.
Hello, YouTube. Hello, Sabi. Hello, Shenron. Hello, everyone else that I missed.
Get ready for the next battle.
Okay, well, basically, how was your iftar? It was amazing, bro. Went to Teravi right after, went to the gym after. They couldn't be better, though it was a bit busy, but whatever. So let's start right away. Actually, let me import the mod real quick, and then we'll get into the notes already, everything that changed and whatever. But let me say this right away. This mod has some pretty cool stuff. Like visually, just this wall ender alone that I'm gonna show you now. See this? This shit looks amazing, bro. Like there's some really cool stuff in this mod. There's also some things where I'm like, I don't think this should be. So I'm gonna give my professional opinion on this. At the same time, let me just link the mod real quick for you guys to download it if you want to, or check the patch notes, because the patch notes are inside the mod folders. For 1 second. Let me just pull this out real quick. Tekken mods. And then let me pin this. Okay. Season 3 leaks? Not really leaks, but you know, maybe they'll get inspired by it here and there. But yeah, basically what this mod does is, it's like a lot of the things that we were complaining about, or not complaining, but a lot of things that we were annoyed about with this character, especially like the more annoying stuff this character has. Like him relying so much on gimmicky moves and whatever. So look at this. This is your back three, for example. So the move was cut, the heat engager was cut. Instead, you go into fly now, and this has some utility in combos, for example. So this is your way of setting up the spike, for example. Or if you want to, you can go into Morning Crow from this. Your fly moves work differently now. You can still do the unblockable, of course. You can even fly around if you want to. Like, there's a lot you can do, as you can see. And the fly transition is much faster. So one thing this mod does is, a lot of the things that are somewhat useless this character has, like the fly stance, have been changed so you can actually make some use of those. So they enter the stance faster, for example. You can go into fly from Morning Crow as well. So something like this is possible now. If they try to retaliate with, I don't know, a slower move, for example, you can evade it. But yeah, a lot of cool new stuff in this mod. That's what it boils down to. And the very first thing I'm gonna talk about, so I'm gonna go through the patch notes that I have here of the mod, bit by bit, and read through the most interesting stuff here. And I'm gonna give my own opinion on it pretty much. So what do I think of, I don't know, XYZ change? Do I approve of it? Would I love to see it in Devil Jin in the next season? Yes, no, and you get the idea. So the very first thing, something we've all been wishing for actually, is the 1+2 cancel. It's back in this mod. For those who don't know, in Tekken 7, 1+2 used to be a wall bounce and it was cancelable. The cancel was -18, but it gave you some mind game utility in at the wall, for example, or like near the wall, especially with a wall bounce. You had a lot that you could work with. In this game, it's not a wall bounce; it's just wall splats from quite a bit of distance. And what the cancel does is you have some mind games that you can go for, same way you could do with back 1-2. Now, this cancel on its own is only like, what? I think -14, if I read the patch notes correctly. Which should probably be -18 instead, because any cancel should be launch punishable. If someone has a read, it is already hard enough to punish in time when someone does a cancel like that. But you get the idea. You can play around with the cancel, and you can hit confirm it pretty much. So let's put this Devil Jin to random block. And then when you see that it hits, for example, you don't cancel, you just... Heute wahrscheinlich nicht auch noch, sorry. As you can see, when you hit them, you can just confirm it. Instead of going for the cancel, you can go for the cancel on block, and then you can play around with some mind games there. And it's a homing mid that is pretty fast, so just this cancel alone gives you quite a lot of utility for this move. It's pretty amazing. So this move actually has a purpose now. This is one of the main things I want for this character. Moves that are not very useful right now, for them to get some usage, or like for them to be more useful for you in general. One of the main issues this character has is like a lot of cool moves that he had in Tekken 7 were kind of scraped, I would say. And what you have instead is a lot of like gimmicky stuff that you have to rely on, which is pretty annoying. But yeah, this mod kind of fixes that. Next thing, like flying over the patch notes. Another thing that I really, really wanted was his Morning Crow 4-1, as you may know, tends to drop a lot. Like, there are combos where, especially after Heat Dash launches, whatever you do, no matter how much you delay, no matter how much you control the combo, it will drop. It's a very random combo tool, and it's one of the more frustrating things about Devil Jin, to be honest. What this mod does is, for one, it improves the hitbox, and it also gives a slight bit more tracking, if I understand it right. Which makes it so it doesn't drop as much in combos, or pretty much it's just more consistent to begin with. Another change that I really, really wish for in Season 3, so like it's not something that I would love to see on a mod only, I would love to see it in Season 3 as well. And I think we can all agree on the random combo drops in this character being quite annoying. Another change that a lot of you are gonna appreciate is down for 1. It is now -4 on block. Yes, I know a lot of people wish for -3, but with the extensions it has, it would be very annoying to deal with it if it were only -3. Instead, you have a -4 down for 1, which is already like more useful than it was before because you have some stats utility. So when they jab check you, for example, let's put this Devil Jin to punish. In theory, you can now at the very least step jab checks. Right now you're down for 1. If they jab check you, there's nothing you can do except go for the extensions, which makes it quite annoying to use. But yeah, as you can see, you can at the very least step jabs. Now, depending on the character, you can also step a down for 1 here. Really depends, but at the very least you can make some more... you can get more mileage out of your movement off a down for 1 now. And of course, follow-ups are still there, however they are nerfed. Down for 1-4 doesn't give a follow-up if you don't go into Morning Crow. It does give the Morning Crow 2-2 still. Oh wait, actually it does give a follow-up still, but it's only like... yeah. Actually, no, mine does give you a heat engager. That's an oversight of mine, my bad. It still gives you a heat engager, but you can still go into Morning Crow for a mix, especially in heat. It was a good kick. And of course you still have the high, which has a new knockdown animation, which is also something I wish for, because the current knockdown animation will rob you of a lot of potential wall splats, especially like side wall splats. Talking about knockdowns, your back 1-2 has the same change. Another thing that I actually wish for myself, just for the purpose of consistency. It actually knocks down the same way it did in Tekken 7, so you will get more reliable side wall splats, for example. For the purpose of demonstration. There you go, that's a side wall splat. You would never get this with the current back 1-2 knockdown. Okay. Ah yeah, something that I forgot to mention actually. I'm not sure if I said this already, but this is natural now, so... You know how when you land a down for 1 and they don't press into it, or like you go for the down for 1-4 and it was not a counter hit? What will happen is they will eat the down for 1, but they will be able to block the down for 1-4, so you will still be punishable. This mod changes that by making this natural. However, I do believe that this is not the right way to go. If you go for the mid, which is already very high reward on its own, especially now that it gives a heat engager, I don't think it should be natural, but that's just my opinion. Next change that I think is also healthy for the character. You know, this mod is a lot about making the character more healthy to fight as well. Except maybe for that down for 1-4 change. Mobile Sing 2 is back to 15 frames. Don't worry, there's a compensation buff in return. Actually, let me show you right now. A lot of people will be excited for this. See this? Those of you who played Tekken 7 will probably still remember this. I don't think I'm lying when I say it's a very fan favorite move on a lot of Tekken 7 Devil Jin mains, or like people who played Devil Jin in that game. And as you can see, it has a pretty cool follow-up as well that you can wall carry to. I'm not sure if this is intentional or not, but if I can be honest with you, I think it's insanely sick. Like, look at this. Wish he had something like this, because those claw animations, I wish they'd made more use of it in general in the base game. However, they don't. Which is a shame, because the claw animations are sick. But yeah. Next move. Now this change I think is unnecessary. So the mod makers buff the damage on Dominic too. I don't think this is necessary at all. You don't use this move necessarily for the purpose of... yeah, it does well split. As you can see. I think the heat engager is a bit too much, I'm not gonna lie. It does not need the heat engager. There's too many characters with a crouch heat engager punch. I think those are very annoying because they give way too much of a comeback potential. Blocking those shouldn't give this much reward in my opinion. Like 12 to 13 frames, Dragunov even gets a full launch. I think that's a bit too much. So I would rather, yeah, it's basically like Armor King's by sitting 3-1, but I would prefer for it to not heat engage. The wall spread is plenty enough already. And that's what a lot of Devil Jin mains wished for. As I was saying... Yo, good morning back to Japan, Lucario. As I was saying, the Dominic 2 damage change is not needed. Like, damn, it even starts hit sparking here on content because it does over 20 damage. I don't think this is necessary. You don't use Dominic 2 for the purpose of damaging them. You use it for the plus frames and you use it for the tracking and the high crush. That's plenty use already. You don't need the damage on top. However, another low that got a damage buff that is pretty warranted, I think, is down 3. It does 14 damage now instead of 12. And this alone will make the low more useful in my opinion because it adds up. Did you watch Master Cup? Unfortunately, I didn't. I might watch it later on. Basically, the 14 damage, it adds up. You will land 2 or 3 down freeze in a round, usually because this character has amazing situations to set up a small mix-up like that. Also, it has a new counted effect. I don't think this is needed at all. Old counted effect is enough, but the 14 damage I really appreciate. So it's a 2 damage buff, basically. Next move. Yeah, it's basically... I mean, the trade setups are like a 1 in 100 matches thing anyway, so it doesn't matter that much, but I do think the counter buff is unnecessary. Wrestling 1-2 gets a small damage buff. And the pushback is slightly differed on, I believe, counter. Basically what this does is you get some more damage, it hits bars and counted. So if you decide to go for Wrestling 1-2, you will get some more damage out of it. I don't think this is necessary at all. But yeah, it's a change that exists. Now, one of the more interesting changes in my opinion. So, very first thing I'm gonna tell you, the CD4 free stuff is gone. Instead, what you have is the current CD4 1+2 heat. Which, as you can see, still takes up a third of your heat bar, but not only is the damage on the first hit reverted, the range is reverted, and it's back to its prime, pretty much. So CD44 is back to being pretty good. The reason CD44 right now is pretty redundant, in my opinion at least, is there's no reason not to go for the launch, especially when you can reach the wall. And you're kind of risking too much. Like, the risk reward is not as good with CD44 as it is with CD4 1+2 or CD4 free. What this does is it gives you back some damage on CD44. Gives you back the range, which is pretty important because that means you can play around the range somewhere again. You know, Devil Jin's legs are pretty long, and the sweep will reach from 2.65, I believe. All good. I love CD4 for the way it was in Season 1, however CD4 1+2 damage was a bit too much, I'm not gonna lie. Basically what this mod does is it gives you back some damage on the CD4 1+2 and you get new combo routes anyway, so... I'm not sure if this works at all, but you can be creative here. There's other combo routes that actually work that, like, you will get at least a 50 damage from this and some wall carry, so it is still pretty buffed. You don't need the CD4 free stuff anymore, which is pretty cool. I prefer this hell sweep to go in this direction in Season 3, if I can be that honest. Another move that currently is probably too strong is the Morning Crow 2-2. Because of the heat confirm. I would love to see similar nerfs on other heat confirm moves, say Kazuya Dominic 1-2 for example. Basically what this does is it removes the knockdown, so if you heat confirm it, not hit confirm, heat confirm, you won't get the reward you get currently, so you don't get the 50 damage into flip over. I know you can roll the back 4, but it's quite hard to do, so most of the time it is still guaranteed. Basically, yeah, it is a pretty cool mod. Basically what this does is it makes it more balanced, and if you opt to go for the heat dash launch, it will still be there, so you will be just fine doing that. If you still wish to go for the heat, you can do just that. No, the 10 hit combo is still there if you want it to be, but I'm not sure if it works with the way it was. Like, as you can see, it's a tornado now. I would have to try if this still works at all. Let me check for you, actually. Oh, I'm fucking up the 10 string. Still works, so you'll be fine. All good. But yeah. Morning Crow 2 becomes more balanced. Morning Crow 2 on its own also got changed, which I think is pretty healthy. For the purpose of fighting the character. So basically what happens is your Morning Crow 2 on its own becomes -10. Which is a good thing, honestly, because this move shouldn't be safe. I'll try it after this. So basically Morning Crow 2 becomes -10 on block, which is good. Because that move shouldn't be safe in my opinion. It's a 15 frame homing move that interrupts anything you can do in the Morning Crow entries. Morning Crow 2 is still -14, doesn't knock down anymore. Morning Crow 2 on its own is now +2 on hit, so you can work around with it some more, though I don't think that plus frame change is needed at all, but you get the idea. It was changed to be more healthy to fight against. What exactly does this mod do? It changes a lot in the character, gives you more fun stuff to work with, and basically implements a lot of stuff that we would love to see on the character. For example, this cancel here. Like this wall combo. Like there's quite a lot here that is quite cool that I would love to see in Season 3. So that's why I'm giving a review, or like my opinion on this hello, Easter. That's why I'm giving my opinion on this mod. Another thing that you're gonna be surprised to see is how the mod is pretty cool. So this doesn't spike anymore. It is still a launcher, but this is going to be edited. It's no longer a spike, but instead you have you have fly free to set up the spike. And the fly free damage is also different, I believe. Yeah, it's 25. So you got some spike damage reduction, and coolest part about this mod, honestly, this becomes pretty optimal now. So most of the time you don't even have to set up the spike, and it's a very cool looking wall ender, and it works on so many situations, honestly. So even if you go for something like this, this can work just fine if you're not off axis the way I was. Actually, no mind. Hold up, let me check. That seems OP. Which move? You mean the wall ender? It does the same damage as the old one, I believe. It's just more reliable. Yeah, what's heat CD2? Oh, I didn't even know about this. That's pretty cool. I'll try it after. Anyway, I think I talked about back 3. Back 3 is cut. Instead, you get the fly entry now. This is your back 3. It's cool. Fuck the back swing. I think we can all agree it's just annoying, and it's just it incentivizes to it incentivizes Devil Jin players to just go die in game. Something you might think is weird on the character or shouldn't be on the character is this. So basically, this is a full crouch low. Old back 3 is cut. Yes, it is. It's a reactable full crouch low, and the only reason it exists is because of this, I think. So you still get a guaranteed follow-up. And let me tell you right away, this is now a wall split. I'm not sure if this is needed at all. Honestly, I don't think so, but pretty cool to have regardless, I guess. This is your new back 3. You can even go into Morning Crow from this if you want to. Like, the animation looks very cut, but there's only so much you can do with a moveset extractor. But you can set up your... Isn't the new back 3 just a camper now? Theoretically it is. But at the same time, I believe you can still option select every single move here with a side step right. And you can't just go down and block. Or you can't just go back to blocking as fast as a normal Kenpo, so... It's a pretty shitty Kenpo. I wouldn't use this as a Kenpo, probably. Very weird change. This is now a counted launcher. I'm not sure what the use of this is gonna be. I don't think I would use it at all. But more interesting than that is your back 2-3. So this is your 13 frame heat engager now. In my opinion, not a necessary change. I think it can stay 14 frame just fine. However, for those who are interested, the damage got nerfed in return for this being 13 frame now, and the heat dash launch got cut. Instead you have this. Or if you want more damage, this. So this is still very possible. I mean, it's fine so long as the character becomes more healthy. I don't think it's toxic at all. Because look at the move on block. It's minus 15. 16 even. I don't think this move will have much purpose. So I don't think the counted launch is necessary either. A different move that I think is interesting. No, the 1 damage Heaven's Gate is was never a thing after a heat dash knockdown. So this is pretty interesting. This is now, the first hit is now 14 frames instead of 15. The range got slightly buffed. Did they touch up for free? I can show later. Range got changed slightly. And this is your long range mid with punish, pretty much 14 frames fast. It's similar to Jin 432, or 431, sorry. I already talked about the 4-1 changes. So basically what this does is you get a new reliable mid with punish is 40 frames, long range, and it's a launcher. So this fills the purpose of your old back to free pretty much. However, in my opinion, I don't think this is the way we should go. I think back to free should stay the way it was, because that's fine just the way it is. Instead of giving this to Devil Jin, so forward 4-1, just make 4-4, make it stay 15 frames, make the forward 4-3 counter confirmable. That alone would give the move much more purpose. Like, make this counted confirmable and it becomes a cool move already. 15 frame long range counted launcher that if you fuck it up you get launched for. I think that's a pretty cool idea. I think the heat engager, like, the mod in general tries to work around with heat a lot, and I think it kind of fails a bit in doing so, but that's fine. There's a lot of good changes here regardless. Okay. Let's talk about CD1 plus 2. Basically, this is your old 4-4-4 knockdown. Keep the speed, it's now 22 frames fast. So there's a speed up here, I believe, by like... Is it 3 or 4 frames? I think it's 4 frames. Still somewhat fuzzyable in my opinion, but... It's faster. And I believe the homing is gone. I'm not sure if this would be a useful mid at all. I don't think it would, because the reaction is still very, very apparent. But still, let's talk about the move. As you can see, the behavior on hit has been changed. You don't get anything guaranteed anymore. Kind of like 4-4-4 on hit or down 4-1-4 on hit, without the counter hit. I believe on airborne opponents it also does something different now. Yeah. I think this is for combo utility. No, the laser is not gone, but it does something different now. We'll talk about it soon. Damage has changed, and hitbox has changed, so it gets evaded less. No, that's not what this is. This move is... I think this move is still pretty slow and very apparent. I don't think you're gonna use this to mix. But let's talk about the heat extension real quick. So basically what this does is... it becomes more of a like power mid-esque move with some Oki after, I guess. But for one, I think the heat usage is too much, and two, I think the homing being gone, like the main purpose of this move was the homing and the pushback on block. Other than that, this move doesn't have much purpose, so I don't really think this move is gonna be very useful, even after the changes. But it's good to talk about it regardless. A change that's pretty good for like floats is 1+4. This is now 14 frames fast. Can't tell you exactly what change it would make depending on the combo, but it does make a change on like floats for like dashing into 1+4, so gives you some ease of use there. Up 4 3+4 is pretty funny. So on hit, you can now go into this stance and get a small... Well, I wouldn't call this a mix-up. Honestly, this is not a mix-up, but... It's more like current Morning Crow. Would it make the up for 2 pickup easier? Good that you mentioned up for 2. I'll talk about this right after. Yeah, they gave him a lot of 14 frames, and I think that number is pretty annoying. I think we should try to stay away from that number, because 14 is a very cancerous number. It might. I think it does, yeah, it does. That's probably the change for it. But it doesn't change the fact that up back 4 is a pretty useless move. Oh yeah, 4-3 is pretty much up back 4 now. Now 4-3 plus 4 is pretty funny, because look at this. And now Tornadoes. Probably the funniest tornado in the game. More stances back to basic. Yeah, but at the same time, these stances don't really have muff. They don't have any mix purpose. So if I go into fly here, you don't have a move to mix with. You don't have a low, you don't have a high. You have an unblockable that is reactable. That's it. And you have the laser. So I don't think the stance matters much. Same way Morning Crow doesn't really matter outside of heat. It's very whatever. It's a stance change, I don't mind, because it does more for combos and stuff than for mix purposes. And that's what we want. We don't want stances to have like canned mix-ups. Yeah, fly 1 doesn't launch anymore. It does chip damage though. I guess that's your mix-up. You get 5 chip damage. And some pushback. But it really doesn't matter. Any changes to Morning Crow 1+2? Yes, but I think they're bad. I think what this does is it makes Morning Crow 1+2 reactable. It's borderline fuzzyable already, and I think... Well, if I train this just now, 1 second, let me try this actually. Just so I don't talk shit for nothing. You have missed a lot, so I recommend watching the VOD later, art anime. Okay, so let's see. Okay, should be fine actually, 1 second. So this is 22. Yeah, this is reactable now. This is 100% reactable now. So what the mod changes is, it makes it I-22, so you can actually jab it out. However, I think this goes against the design of Morning Crow, because what Morning Crow is supposed to do actually... the download is in the pin, I think. Oh, it's no longer pinned. Do I have this in my copy paste still? Yeah. Pin this. Okay, should be fine now. Basically what you do to beat Morning Crow is you step to the right. Wait, what was my first option again? Whatever, let me just change this to the unblockable real quick. So if I run this mix-up now, as you can see, I can beat both options with side step right. So what he has to do to track me is any other option. Morning Crow 2-2 or like the other 2 dodge options. The fact that I can jab out both options now and I can step both makes the stance a little too easy to counter in my opinion, especially now that Morning Crow 1+2 is reactable thanks to the frame change. I have to say I think this makes the stance completely useless, so it's probably best to just let it stay as is and let people figure out how to counter Morning Crow actually, because I feel like that's the main issue. People don't know how to counter Morning Crow. People still go for the jab counter when instead you should be jabbing, because otherwise the risk reward is just not in your favor as the defender. But people need to just learn that instead of making this change and making the stance redundant entirely. Like, Morning Crow in Heat is probably the only thing that makes this character really stand out in the highest level of play. If you remove that, I think this character becomes a little too bare bones for... especially for like tournament play and similar, but that's just my opinion. I think Morning Crow should just stay the way it is, despite Heat Morning Crow 1+2 being super annoying, but still. The option of stepping is still there, and Morning Crow 2-2 doesn't give a guaranteed follow-up anymore. So either you commit to the Morning Crow 2-2 heat dash and your entire heat is gone, or you accept that you only get 30 damage. Which is already plenty fine. The reason Morning Crow is so stupid right now is because of the Morning Crow 2-2 heat confirm. Remove that and I think Morning Crow 1+2 is fine. I don't think the frames need to be changed. But that's just my 2 cents. What's next? Okay, so that was Monicro 1+2. But yeah, the frames got changed a little as well, and the damage got changed. Monicro 2 doesn't guarantee back 4 anymore, but back 4 still follows up. And the damage on this got nerfed. I think this nerf, this is good. But the frame change, not good, my opinion. Funny change, down 1 is now chargeable. Looks funny as fuck if you ask me. And the power crush is gone, and someone was asking about up for 2 earlier. This is a change I really hate, personally. The knockdown is now gone. I think the knockdown should stay the way it is, because 1+4 is buff, and that gives plenty of reason to use up for 2 now. Because the pickup would be easier. And that's one of the main things I wanted, the pickup to be more reliable in a way, but still requiring some skill. The 1+4 change would do exactly that, so leaving up for 2 the way it is would be pretty cool in my opinion. But this change, it's like top 3 most hated changes of mine in this mod. So this is your power crush now. It's not homing, but it still tracks to your weak side, I believe. Or it tracks to the left. Actually, no, it should track sides to the left from the animation, but you get the idea. I think down 1 should stay the power crush, up for 2 should stay the way it is, and the 1+4 change gives you plenty of reason to use up for 2. In my opinion. I talked about up for 3+4. Talked about up for 1. Oh yeah. It's -9. If I recall correctly, it's -9. Up for 1 got its tracking reduced, it doesn't realign anymore, which is good. This move is pretty annoying to deal with, especially when you get hit by it randomly and you just see the whole heat engage into full mix-up situation, so good riddance on that. Back 3 is pretty much gone, up for 1 is now nerfed on the tracking. That alone makes the character so much more bearable to fight. Still tracks after electric? Does it? I didn't try it. No, it doesn't. This would track after... I guess you would have to sidewalk it for it to track. No, you can't sidewalk either. I guess if you slightly delay, then it realigns, but that's pretty normal for moves to do. So yeah, I can actually sidewalk it after electric, which is good. Next change. Oh yeah, this is gonna be funny. This might seem super strong at first. And honestly, I wouldn't even mind having this now that the launching sweep is gone, but look at the frames unlocked. So it's not the move that you think it is. It's not like up for 4 spam will be back. Personally, what I think they could do is, which would be pretty cool in my opinion. So this doesn't have the pushback back in this mod, which is okay. However, you could give this some more pushback. This would make up for some really cool punishes in this game, like a very few niche punishes. Leave 4 or 4-4 would reach, Jack 4-2 would reach, a few other high range 11 frame punishes would reach, like Kazuya back 1-2. Making this a more niche move to be punished, I think would make it pretty cool, because it makes it very matchup dependent. So give it some more pushback, and I think it will be fine. But the way it is right now, especially with it being -11 and not having a heat engager anymore, so you can't heat dash, confirm it. You're not gonna use this, I can guarantee you. Making this unsafe kinda goes against the move's design. I'm not saying make it safe, I'm just saying give it some pushback. And that will be plenty enough for a move to be useful. Instead of giving the demon paw pushback, since this is probably what they don't want to do, since it's such an obvious change to make. Which is fine. I like the direction of that, being more creative with the changes. What else did they change about up for 2? Oh yeah, you can go into Monochrome now from this. So if you manage to land it, you can also get a heat engager from this. However, the move on its own doesn't heat engage anymore. That's the main change. Okay. Assalamu alaikum shong dikak. Okay, I talked about Minecraft for 1. This had its hitbox expanded downward, however, I think this is only... Indeed it is. I think this is only a change for like Ling and Lee. I think on Bears it still doesn't work for it to be more consistent. And the damage got nerfed on this. So this does the same damage as your electric now. Which is a bit of a shame, but for the purpose of consistency, I'm fine with trading some damage away. A move I'm gonna talk about real quick because I don't really care about it is this. So the launch got removed. And it's the same way Jin's Omen CD3 or like Omen 3 is +2. This is also +2 now. It doesn't matter, this move is useless. And it doesn't launch a normal hit anymore. So the way you used this before is it was an approaching orbital. A bit better than 444 and for that purpose, but well, pretty much gone. I don't think this move will be any more useful just by doing this. There is a new follow-up to this. I'm not sure how we would use this though. I guess it's like a spike in here. Anyway, I guess it's more useful for combos than unblock. That +2, don't be fooled by it. Okay, now one of my favorite moves in the mod actually. Pay close attention. I call it the jump scare. Face down. Doesn't CD3 heat launch, does it? I don't think it does. It spikes. Imagine going up with this weight. Let me put myself in heat as well. Player's heat, activate heat. Now imagine you're standing down like this, right? The average player would do something like, I don't know, a Westering 4 or maybe a Westering 3. Imagine jump scaring the fuck out of people. Like, it's so fast, bro. It looks so funny. Remember how in Season 1 you would just randomly get hit by the jump scare heat smash? I think this kind of just reminds me of that. I think it's super funny. I'm not against the idea, but it's way too fast. It's way too fast. You should be able to jab this out on reaction if he goes for it on wake up. No, it's not a new patch, it's just a mod. But it's a pretty cool mod. This is probably my favorite change in the mod. It's so fucking funny, bro. Another change that I didn't really look into too much, but I guess it's a thing. We can go into fly from this. I would probably not recommend doing that. Your fly stance is still pretty useless if I understand correctly, for the purpose of mixing or whatever. Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff in here, so don't take it too serious. I talked about back forward 1+2 already. It's a pretty cool wall ender. Looks insanely sick. The standing free changes, whatever. I talked about up 4-2. Down 4-4-4. Okay, this is something else that I... Yeah, I'm also curious about back forward 2-1 down 4-2. We'll check it out. We'll check it out together. I didn't even know about that before. Basically, your down 4-4-4 now has a counted follow-up guaranteed. Which I think is very unnecessary because down 4-4-4 is plenty strong on its own. I don't think this needs any changes, I'll be honest. But it's a thing. I think those types of moves that guarantee a heat engage or uncountered or like as a normal hit punish are insanely boring and should not be a thing, or like they should be reduced or toned down in general. Damage got buffed, so the second hit sparks and counter hit. Like a lot of this mod just makes moves hit spark for some reason, same way Dominic 2 does. Very unnecessary change in my opinion, but yeah, you get the idea. Now it gets something on counter hit. Fly free damage has been changed and it's more minus on block, which is good. More consistent punishes. Oh, I need to change that back up. So it's minus 22 consistently now. And the damage is less. No, it's not necessary that everything is bigger and stronger. There are some good nerfs in here as well. Your 4-3, so like the orbital thingy, is now up back 4. And it's a normal hit launcher. I guess this is your... This fills the purpose of the old CD3 pretty much. But still a pretty useless move in my opinion. Standing 4 now gives something on counter hit. Which is pretty whatever, I believe. I don't think this needs to be a thing. But it gives something on counter. The way I personally see it is, yeah, I'm gonna talk about that Rising Free later. It's a huge nitpick of mine. The way I see it, just make standing 4 +2. And it will have plenty use already. The main issue with this move is that you can't do much with it on block. In Tekken 7 it used to be +5 with some pushback. The way it is right now, I don't see any purpose of using it over your electric. There's already plenty highs you use with Devil Jin. You can't afford to use more highs that if they duck, you end up getting launched for, and standing 4 recovers like shit. So unless you make it +2 or something, or like at least neutral on block, this move will never have any use. It's useless, even if you give it a counter follow-up. Another funny change. Wait, I need to... Yeah, okay. So you can loop this now. Because if you hold up after the fly forward 1+2, you can go into fly again. It only exists for BM, but yeah. Yeah, it has insane time scam potential. Domek 1+2 still doesn't track, I believe. I'll try for the sake of education, but... Yeah, it still doesn't track, but you go into morning crop faster from the transition. Which gives it some more utility, I guess, without making it all too annoying, but I can guarantee you're still not gonna use that full charge ever. A change that I dislike heavily. 2-2 is now neutral on hit. Do not make this neutral on hit. The punish is plenty strong. It's a very slept on punish in my opinion. 29 damage, 10 frame punish. I think people don't realize how little characters have this. I'm not sure if it is. Yeah, it is unchanged. Does nothing but spike them the way up for 3+4 does currently. Not sure what the utility for that would be. I guess. No, it doesn't change much, I believe. Yeah. Anyway, 2-2 doesn't need to be changed. It's plenty strong as it is. However, one change that I like, because currently I don't see any purpose for this move, is this is not 10 frames fast. I guess some of you will still know this from Tekken 5. My main gripe with this move, or like this throw, it's a good throw in theory, but the reason I don't like it is... how do I set throw breaks? It should be somewhere here. There we go. It's -6 on break. So compared to your other throws, this is 0, this is -2, this is -2. Compared to your other throws, it's not only slower, it's also worse on break. On the other breaks, you can at the very least still move. Here, you just have to take the -6. And the only thing you really have from this is the reward on hit. Making this 10 frames makes it a somewhat strong 10 frame counter tool, unlike your other throws. Which makes it pretty cool. It gives it some purpose finally. So you have a reason to use this throw now. Right now, the way it is, I don't see a reason to use this move, if I can be that honest. It's pretty cool. Yeah, theoretically you can also punish some power crushes with that are only -10. It gives it some cool purpose at the very least, so I do like this change, even if it makes it... I'm not sure if it would make it too strong as a throw, but I like it. Okay, some more changes that I think are very unnecessary. This was sped up, I'm not exactly sure why. You have a follow-up from your 1-2 now. And I'm not sure if this is natural, I don't think it is. No. I think this is very unnecessary. I'm not even gonna talk about this too much. I believe these do something on counter hit, but very unnecessary in my opinion. This is a very Tekken 8-esque string mix-up off a jab string that I don't think is very needed for the character. Okay, pretty funny change. This tornadoes now. So you can use it at the wall if you have used a lot of wall hits already. At the same time, your 10-string combos should still work, I believe, but I'm not sure. Oh, might it doesn't. So this nerfs the 10-string combo pretty much. That's all it does. It has some combo utility, but I haven't looked into it much yet. Oh, okay, wait. Now let's get to the heat string. Let me just check. Whoops. Oh, okay, so this, okay, this is pretty cool actually. I like this. Let's take a look. Okay, let me just think for a second. Okay, this is pretty cool. I'm not sure if this is actually optimal. Might be, but it looks insanely cool. So this is 79. Whoops. This is also 79. It's not very optimal. It's the same damage actually as your spike ender, which is a shame, but I guess if you don't have your tornado available, it could be a pretty good wall ender. Actually, let's try that. So let's take away our tornado right away. 47. Now it's 78. So it's like 31 damage as a wall ender, which is pretty cool. Weird change in my opinion. This is now back forward 4 instead of forward forward 4. Yeah, true. I think even here you can just... can you? Well, it's only 49. I guess, yeah, after Vicening 2 at the wall, it's pretty good. I like the change, it's pretty swaggy. Not sure if it's very optimal though, depending on the combo. Well, you would have to play them out and see it for yourself. I haven't tried a lot with it yet. Okay. Next changes. As I said, back 4-4-4 is now back 4-4. Weird change, I think this makes it useless. Not sure why this change was made, but it's there. And I think it doesn't count that launch anymore, but I'm not sure. Actually, it does. Not sure what exactly you can do from this. I'm not very well versed with the combos yet, but... would the electric be a launcher? We can try. Doesn't seem to be a launcher. This gives a guaranteed wall split. Yeah. A move that I think is very weird. So they gave this and said it's with Punisher. However, I'm not sure why this mod insists on giving this character so many mid with Punishers, because this is already too much in my opinion. And then you also have this, which is a 15 frame with Punish for moves that recover crouching, I guess. I think that's a major skill issue, because this character already has Vicening 4-4. You can use Vicening 4-4 to with punish those types of moves. In this mod, Vicening 4-4 is not a thing. Instead, you have this, which in my opinion looks cooler anyway and makes more sense with the plus frames, but you get the idea. I don't think this is very needed. It makes the triple electric combo easier though. You can actually staple the triple electrics that way. As you can see here. I'm not sure. I think that 4-4-4 is a bit too much. Maybe make that back forward 4 instead. Not sure. I don't think that move has to be a thing, especially not for the purpose of punishing. You already have Vicening 4-4 in the base game, and that 4-4-1 is already a bit too much in my opinion. But yeah. I'm not gonna talk about the fly stance. You don't need to know anything more other than the fact that you can entry into it much faster, but the stance is still pretty useless from what I've seen for like mixed purposes or whatever. It's more of a combo thing. Back 4 was nerfed. I was surprised to see this, but the pushback was nerfed. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Vicening 1-1 was slightly changed. Forward momentum was changed. I believe it only makes a difference in combos, I think. And you're fly free to make it safe. You can now do a laser follow-up to make it safe. Another change where I'm like, Why would they nerf back 4? Not sure. You would have to ask the mod creators. I'm just telling you how it is. But yeah, you can make fly free safe with this laser 4 up. I think it's better to not give him those types of gimmicky things. And the counter animation is pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. I already saw that as well. Like the counter animation I'm fine with, but being able to make it safe, just... I don't know, no reason to give stances annoying follow-ups like that, but you can still step it, so I guess it's whatever. Still, I think it's a very meh change. Okay. Another one of my top 3 favorite changes in this mod. This looks pretty cool in my opinion. So basically what this does is if they don't press into you, there's a very, very, very little hitbox that can hit them if they're close to you. But if they're just a teensy tiny bit away from you, it doesn't hit. So it's just a worse version of Kazuya's Fukitobe, essentially. Okay. My most hated change in this mod, easily, is the chargeable while standing free. Because now you actually have to let go while doing the what is it called, the shortcut. So in theory, your while standing free becomes slower just because of the charge existing. Because look at this, I hold the free, I press 3+4. Usually what would happen is I would instantly get a quick while standing free. Instead, because of the changes in this mod, I get a charge while standing free instead, which makes my normal while standing free slower. I would just get rid of that while standing free charge. But I guess this is pretty cool. These are just ideas, Flint, right? It's some mod. I think I even said in the Twitch title, it's a rework mod. But yeah, that while standing free, in my opinion, should not be chargeable. It just makes it more annoying to use. Down 4 feet to 4 damage was changed for you to not use it in combos too much. I guess it's to nerf that one combo route that he has. No, mind, this doesn't even work anymore. Okay, so what the damage changes do is it removes this combo route. Yeah, while standing free, I would leave unchanged. And down 4 feet to 4 is also a shame, I think. Wouldn't necessarily change that, but at the same time, in exchange, you get the consistent triple electric routes. But I have to admit, I prefer a consistent route in that down 4 feet to 4 route and over this triple electric route. All this does is take away some consistency of that character, because that electric combo route with down 4 feet to 4 really is special to the character. Gives you some really good damage for easy use, which is important for tournaments. So I'm not sure, for the purpose of tournaments, this mod is not necessarily the best anyway. But it's a great mod for the purpose of making the character more healthy to fight. Except for like 2 or 3 changes that are very... Anyway, the one who asked about up for free earlier. What this does is it gives you a guaranteed follow-up on hit now, on normal hit. And on block, it functions differently, so it's now +0 instead of +3. And it has some pushback. So theoretically, it's more useful than it is before, but it's still a very linear, slow move that only launches on counter hit. And you're not gonna use this as a mix-up tool, so still pretty useless to me. Same way as CD3 is pretty useless because of like being super linear and stuff. Wouldn't use it personally. Okay. Down make 1+2, basically your Morning Crow entry becomes faster, so you can make some more use of it, but other than that, oh, back 1+2. No, back 1+2 wasn't changed at all. I'm sorry, I misread. It's the same as before. It can stay the way it is. It's plenty strong as it is. Okay. About combo routes. I have a small compilation on my Twitter, but haven't really messed around with them other than that. Okay, this was the move I was looking for. Oops. CD3+1 either. So as you can see, you can use your CD3+4 as a combo tool now. There's a staple listed here that I want to try. Okay. Wait, let me cook. Oh my god, excellent charge. You're not allowed to charge that while standing free, but that charge is so hard to get out of your muscle memory. CD4 free is removed in this mod, Zerna. That's a non-issue. Oh my god. Oh wait. I need to check something real quick. Huh? I'm not quite sure if I understand this combo correctly. Up to fly 1 CD 3 plus 4. Oh, they're talking about the Western free here. No mind then. I would like to see something else, so wait. Oh, this doesn't work either. Okay, whatever. Forget what I said. Okay, your combo routes will basically be this. So I get 80 damage from this, for example. Yeah, I think there's too much working around with heat that nobody asked for in this mod, but at the same time, there's like making fly more usable and morning crow into fly is insanely cool because it gives you like a lot more combo utility. One of them I can show you real quick. I already tested this out. This is one of the things I like because it makes fly stance more useful without making it a Cancer Tekken 8-esque mix-up stance. 1 second. Let me just think real quick. Oh yeah, wait. Oops. Maybe a little further back. Oops. Okay, there we go. So, stuff like this is like character expertise stuff. You'll have to practice this a lot to make it work consistently, but I think this is insanely cool, personally. Fly free spike damage was nerfed, and if you fuck up the fly free, you're punishable on tech roll. So this gives the fly stance more utility off of the morning crow, which is pretty cool because fly stance as it is right now is pretty useless. Outside of like morning crow 4. And even that is kind of useless. Yeah, I've tried the CD2 already. It's pretty cool. I can show you a combo after this. My main issue with this mod is just a lot of like annoying changes, especially like fastening one for like giving Dominic 2 more damage. I guess this is something the mod maker dreams of, which is fine. Like it's not supposed to be a super professional mod. It's more of a fun mod, right? So perfectly fine for it to have changes where the mod maker's trying to have fun with it. But I like the direction of making fly stance more useful. I like the direction of making morning crow more balanced. However, it's the wrong direction making morning crow 1+2 slower because that will make it reactable. But the health sweep change is amazing. The mid changes are amazing. Up for 4 being back will be fan service to a lot of people. Though you would have to make the -11 with more pushback to make it actually useful. Otherwise, it will be useless. What else? You have new mid with punishers that are pretty cool, I guess. But honestly, I'll have to say it's a skill issue because even base Devil Jin has Y-standing 4-4 that you can use for the purpose of mid with punishment if they use a move that recovers in crouch. Because chances are if they use a high crushing move, it will have a lot of recovery. That's usually the rule of thumb. If it's not the rule of thumb, it's probably a broken Tekken 8 move. Yeah, I think it's a pretty amazing mod, honestly. Like, you can one can't go into these types of mods thinking they're gonna be flawless or they're not gonna have some weird changes. There are a lot of changes where I'm like, okay, I like the direction of this, and like, okay, this is sick as fuck, or like this looks sick as fuck. Props to the mod makers because this does look really well made. Well, but way better than some season 2 moves that some characters got. I'll be honest. I don't know why, but devs just kind of forgot how animating works after like the year of 2020 or whatever. It looks insanely weird. And yeah, that jump scare wake up option, bro. I would love to see this in season 3. I'm not gonna lie, it looks so funny. Wait, let me show this again for those who missed it. Wait, let me activate my heat as well. Imagine eating this in match, bro. There's people who would uninstall right then and there. Wait. Wait. Like, jump scare would be a very fitting name for that. Though you would have to make the entry slower, 100%. You can make this balanced. You can make this a thing if you want to. I don't mind this. Devil Jin was always known for having dumb wake up stuff. But making moves like this more useful or this more useful, let me tell you, is something I would love to see in season 3. Because one thing I hate about this character, there are moves that were like part of your main kit in Tekken 7. And they made them useless in Tekken 8, or like they're overshadowed by other moves, by other Tekken 8 style explosive moves. Which is a shame, because for one, moves like down 4-2 were nerfed in this mod. They don't, like, this doesn't track anymore. It doesn't track to your weak side. So you will actually have to use more mids instead of going for the season 2. I'm gonna spam down 4-2 and back 4-2 all the time style. And then occasionally I'm gonna check with down 4-1. So personally, I believe this is the direction we want to go for. Like, if you want to do balancing properly, make moves that are not used at all more useful, but don't make them broken. Make them more useful and then nerf the moves that are overused. That way, characters and players will have to use more moves and they will have to make up for the characters' weaknesses more. And in the process, you will be more creative with how you're going about your character, which in return will make you better as a player, instead of continuously spamming the same broken moves over and over, making you play a sequence game. This is basically what Tekken 8 Season 2 boils down to, if you haven't noticed, sequences. Which is annoying, because at some point you will realize, okay, either I'm able to hold this character's sequences, this is pretty much what learning the matchup boils down to these days, or I'm just gonna die to some random ball chart that I don't know how to deal with, or I died because I pressed into +8 and ate a whole ass heat smash that wall split at me. Okay, whatever, you're not supposed to press into plus frames when they're in heat, but you get the idea. Yeah, so like, that 1+4 change I think is amazing. It makes 1+4 14 frames fast instead of 16, which would in turn make up 4-2 more useful if it's still knocked down. Yeah, what's good, Overflow? Thanks for creating the mod. So like, if you let up 4-2 stay the way it is, instead of giving it this wall split animation, basically with that 1+4 change, the up 4-2 pickup would be more consistent, but it will still require skill. It will still require you to buffer a dash and be ready for it. But you would deserve the launch, because you would have to work for it. So you have a homing high launcher that is not that bad on block, and thanks to the 1+4 buff, it would be more useful. This is a change I really like. But then the up 4-2 change, for example, I don't like, because high save power crushes are just insanely annoying to deal with in general. Like, I get the idea. The mod creators tried to give him more Tekken 8 stuff, because he has not as much Tekken 8 stuff to work with as other characters. At the same time, I feel like we should go away from things that would homogenize the character first. Like, bustering 1-4 is insanely cool, I think we can all agree. However, giving it the heat dash option is not necessary. You can just make it so it's a wall split 30 damage, and it will be plenty cool already. Like, a lot of people... This move alone existing, the animation alone would be so much fan service for Devil Jin players. I can guarantee you. No need for that heat engager. Same way forward 4-1 I think is not necessary as a heat engager. I still like the idea of giving 1+2 the heat engage more. Because it actually makes the move, like, so much more useful. And now that they nerfed down 4-2 in this mod, 1+2 would in turn become much more useful as well. Because you will have to use other mids in return for that broken ass down 4-2 that covers almost anything. And if it doesn't cover anything, your back 4-2 will cover it instead. Which is very Tekken 8 style gameplay. Yeah, the fly stand stuff is amazing. Doesn't make it like a super annoying. Have you used 1+2 mid-air? Yeah, no, I haven't experimented that much with combos yet. But one thing I was saying about this mod, the combo utilities I've seen are amazing. However, one thing you have to keep in mind with removing combo routes, like the down for 3 to 4 route, I know what you're trying to do. It's like I know it's a very simple and effective combo route that should, like it's very borderline. Like the purpose was removing this. However, you need to keep in mind these types of combo routes are super important for tournament play and similar. I mean, I know that the mod was not necessarily made with tournament play in mind, but still. Making the triple electric route consistent, but then removing a very consistent route like that, I was a bit like, I don't know. It's so unique to Devil Jin to have a combo route like that to begin with, and then taking it away in return for the triple electric combo routes that nobody will use in, like, for example, tournament play or those who prefer consistency. I think you need to give the character some room to still have some consistency, because that other damaging combo route doesn't give you wall carry in return. I think 1+2 would still be balanced if it were a heat engager. But you would have to make the cancel -18. I think the cancel in this mod is -14, but I'm not sure. I can actually test this out really easily. So let's see if you can actually launch it. Yeah, so you can't launch it. It's only -14 on cancel. I think I would just make 1+2 a heat engager. Something I dislike about Tekken 8 is that a lot of characters have very similar heat engagers. For example, Y standing punishes or 13 frame standing punishes. I think that should be more unique. I don't think every other character should have that, so that's one thing I would change in the mod. And 1+2 with the heat engage option, I'm not sure if it would be too strong. Some things you just have to test out. Thankfully, this isn't an official Tekken patch, so you have plenty of room to test things out or like play test them. But 1+2 heat engage would probably solve the issue of homogenizing like your heat options, and at the same time give you a much more cool mid to use. The animation is sick, the wall spread is sick, it's pretty reliable. The cancel is sick, just make it -18 on cancel so you actually get reward for guessing right on the cancel. And the heat engager also makes it somewhat useful outside of the wall, because right now the move is only useful at the wall. You want to give this character more mids to use in general, not just at the wall. I think that's my personal opinion. Because what happens is, as I said, if you're gonna nerf down for 2, you already give Devil Jin players plenty of reason to use other mids. And what I liked about Season 2 is they gave him back 1+2 and down for 2. So your main mids weren't just 4-4-2 and 4-4-4. Stuff like that, as I said, it incentivizes player creativity because you have to use more moves. And it makes you better as a player in return because you don't have like 1 or 2 broken mid tools that you can consistently throw out. Instead, you have to put in more like thinking power by using more mids that aren't necessarily broken, but like they all have their own purpose. You get what I mean? I know that 1+2 as a homing move is like, it's not necessarily proving my point right in the sense that you have to put some thinking to it, but if it turns out to be too strong the way it is, you can still make it -14 on block, for example. Oh Jesus, I didn't even know that had accounted for. You can make this -14, for example, and then it cancel -18, and then bum, it would be somewhat more balanced. Like there's plenty of room to work with here. Devil Jin is, if you put your mind to it, you can do a lot with this character. Thankfully, he's not very brain dead compared to some other Tekken 8 characters. Would you change up for 3? I wouldn't change anything about the move. Some moves are just not supposed to be useful, in my opinion. Like the way it was before, just let it stay that way. If anyone wants to use it, feel free to do so. What I would personally change probably is I would make it +5 on block instead of +3. That way you would have a move that is more plus than back 1+2. The reason up for 3 is useless in my opinion is because it's overshadowed by this. Make it like +5 and it will give you some reason to use it. Though I think it would still be overshadowed by if we're running 3, honestly. But some moves are just conceptually not supposed to be very useful.
Does Layer Scraper launch in this mod? I don't think so. And I don't think it should either. Oops. No. But the heat extension gives you a guaranteed wall split. I like this, for example. This is an insanely cool change. This is amazing. This is what you want. It takes away an appropriate amount of heat, but it also gives you like combo utility that isn't just spike, flip over. You get what I mean? It gives you more room for player creativity. It gives you more room for like optimization. It gives the player more room to like build on their character's intuition and wall carry tools. In general, what this mod does right is combo utility and like giving character expertise more like room to be improved on. Oh, it launches uncounted? I don't know. I haven't tested around with this move enough yet. I see. But you get the idea, right? Improves on his strengths in a way like Devil Jin's combos right now are amazing, so this mod further improves on that. His strengths somewhat. And then his down forward 1 is not overbuffed in a way where it becomes too strong. His jab is still the same, so it remains a weakness. I think down 2 changes too much, like leave it as is. It doesn't give him a new low or anything that makes him too strong. CD4-4 is back to being what it was, which is pretty cool. And you don't have a launching sweep outside of heat anymore. Like, there's so much this mod does right. There's changes here and there where I'm like, whatever, I wouldn't necessarily do this, or like I would abstain from this. But you can't go, as I said before, you can't go into a mod like this thinking it's gonna be perfect or not gonna have weird changes. So overall, if I had to rate this mod personally, I would give it a solid 8 or 8.5 out of 10. Like, as I said, there's a few changes where I'm like, this shouldn't be a thing. But at the same time, the direction is right. This is what we want. Nerf the broken moves, give lesser used moves more like reason to be used, and improve on character strengths and their weaknesses. Give them further weaknesses, give them further strengths. His combos are his biggest strengths right now, and some of his mix-ups, obviously. And the broken shit is mostly nerfed in this mod. That slide is goofy, it is goofy, but at the same time, that slide only exists as a guaranteed follow-up to Morning Crow 1, I believe. And maybe something else, I'm not sure. It's a reactable low, it doesn't really matter. Like, if I can react to a low, and I generally don't have the best reactions in this community, I really don't. What does this mod add? I already went through this mod. Just feel free to watch the VOD. I went through this mod extensively. There's six pages of patch notes. But yeah, like this mod a lot. Direction is very good. Yeah, I recommend testing around with this mod yourself. You're gonna have a lot of fun just messing around with this mod, I believe. I recommend anyone to just get the Tekken moveset extractor. It's not very difficult to explain. Install. How long have you been streaming? I think 1.5 hours at this point, or like 1 hour and 20 minutes, somewhere around that. I'm gonna super cut all of this into a YouTube video as well, which will probably an hour long. I'm not gonna cut away too much because I gave my opinion on almost every single change. I didn't want to leave out all too much. Like, what were the changes about Domo beside the charge option? Is your accent German? Unfortunately, it is. I think the main purpose of this move is like baiting parries. So let's say yeah, all good. Thanks for creating the mod, man. You've done a really good job, Brains, as well. Wait. Like this, for example. Gives you some parry checking abilities. And I think on block it does something different as well. Yeah, so like it's only -5 that way. Otherwise it's -12. It's a weird change. I would look into that down 1 and upward 2 change again because high power crushes are somewhat very annoying in this game. I would abstain from changes like that. It's not an unlockable. It's just a parry bait-esque move. It's not even plus unlock. And it's not an armor anymore either. It's a like, I get the idea, but it's still a very weird move. I don't think you would use this too much in game. For the purpose of this move, you can just delay an electric theoretically. But let's not just talk about things that I was nitpicky about. As I said, there's so much this mod does right, and I recommend you to install this mod yourself and just try things out. No, this mod doesn't turn Devil Jin into Yoshimitsu. Fundamentally, this character is much more solid in this mod than the way he is currently. And much more bearable to fight. Yeah, the wall combo is sick. I think this is also one of my favorite parts about this one. Like, top 3 favorite moves in this combo. In this mod. Yeah, like, let's take a look at this combo again. What was it? Oh yeah. This, for example, is sick. This is super sick. As I said, changes like this I like a lot. It's not necessarily spike it to flip over. It's a cooler way of getting a lot of damage, and you have to use your heat bar for it. Unlike, like, back for 214, for example, I think is very redundant. You're not gonna need this a lot. Ever. I think the mod should look into this a bit more as well. Like, back for 214 would have to have a different use with back forward 1+2 existing. But that back forward 2-1, down forward 2, it's also like, it's such a love letter for anyone that was a fan of like Tekken 3 or Tekken 4 Jin. Like, the most OG Devil Jin players, you know, probably played Tekken 3 Devil Jin at some point. Devil Jin, Tekken 3 Jin, and then Tekken 4 Jin. So they would remember a move like this. Like, fan servers like that is never bad. As I said, it's a love letter to OG Tekken players, and at the same time it's cool for anyone who's new into the game. And it's not necessarily auto cancer to deal with, because you can still sidestep it easily. Oh wait, actually that's something I wanted to check. Oops. Okay, well, I guess this does track. Can you step this to the left? Okay, this is a change I would probably abstain from. Leave this as a combo tool only, or like, don't make it track. I think string counterplay like that, especially against characters in heat, is one of the more annoying parts about Tekken 8. People will just complain about this on Devil Jin, and be annoying to fight as well. Not sure if I would, like, especially with back forward 2-1 being -10, I don't think we need to implement too many string mind games. Back forward 2-1 CD2 has plenty use without a tracking movement. It's an amazing move. It's an amazing idea. Like, 10 out of 10 idea, 10 out of 10 execution. Just, I don't think it should lock down movement. Goes against the principle of the move, in my opinion. Actually, what is it on block even? Yeah, okay. I think we can abstain from something like this. But still, 10 out of 10 idea. I love it. Like, for 2-1 CD2 is an amazing idea. I would love to see it in Season 3, actually. So, like, if the devs looked at this mod and cherry-picked the good stuff from it, I would be very happy in Season 3, actually. Is it a high? I didn't check. Oh, it is a high. Oh. I don't know, still kind of gives like Tekken 8-esque mid-high string mix-ups. I don't like it, it's very annoying. Last time I dealt with something like that was against Heihachi's back 3-3 and back 3-2. Insanely annoying. I mean, yeah, of course devs wouldn't necessarily see this, but if they did, and if they cherry-picked the good stuff from this mod, it would be a very good direction for the character to take in Season 3. That's what I'm trying to say, Scarface. But yeah, that's pretty much my review on the mod. I've talked about this quite extensively for over an hour now. For anyone that's interested in checking this out, especially, I think I'm gonna try to cut this into a YouTube video as well. If I don't manage to in time before Resident Evil 9 release, I'll do it after, at the very latest. I'll put the mod download into the description, and it's also pinned in the Twitch chat for anyone interested. So I recommend testing around with this yourself. The mod maker just wrote, thanks for checking it out. A little late reply, but down one change was mostly an attempt at making an interesting high crush move. It has crouching status now. Thought process was either get a quick high crush but risk being minus 12, or get a safe high crush but risk getting caught because of how slow it is. It doesn't track and it's still minus when charged, so it's not super strong. I get the idea, but at the same time, for the purpose of high crushing, the only frame that really matters is the frame where it starts high crushing. So this is a more fundamental Tekken concept actually. Down 4 is still a good high crushing tool because it starts high crushing at frame 4, right? Same way a dick jab does. Down make 2, I believe, starts high crushing at frame 6. I'm not sure when down 1 starts high crushing, but it's only 2 frames faster than down make 2. And if I really want the move to high crush with, I would just use down make 2 instead. Yeah, so like I don't see much reason to use this as a high crushing tool. I get the idea, it's a pretty cool idea, but I'm not sure. I guess you would have to see in game. You know what? I'll eat my words. I'm not gonna say this is useless or anything. Maybe, for example, in the Mishima matchup, there would be some use to it, especially with the charge. Maybe against jab strings or whatever. I can't tell you right now. Like, I can't give you a professional opinion without having experienced it myself. I would have to play this mod with someone, like try it out. Maybe it is a useful move. Maybe it's a really good concept and a good move in combination. I'm not sure, but I like the idea. Like creative ideas like that is what made me fall in love with this mod to begin with. I don't think it's natural down forward 1-2 that's an issue, but I do think that natural down forward 1-4 is an issue. Does Lars down forward 1-4 hit people on a normal hit? Let me check.
Get ready for the next battle.
I think Devil Jin Weistening moves are fine. The mod also gives him Weistening 1-4 back. Oh, it's down for 1-3. No, it's not natural. Yeah, so like, I don't think Devil Jin's down for 1-4 should be natural. Did this mod fix Laser Scraper? It kinda did, by giving it a new extension in back for 2-1 CD2.
Get ready for the next battle.
Which move wonder? Down forward 1-4 is minus 13, usually it's minus 12 in this mod. Oh, I had uninstalled my mod, damn, this looks ugly. I'll just go with this, whatever.
Get ready for the next battle.
Is there any moves you would like me to check out for this mod specifically? Anyone in the chat? This is your new Laser Scraper extension. Oops. Four, 4-2, it's the exact same. Instead you have this now, but it's minus 11 on lock. And as I said, I would give this some more pushback. I already said what I feel about. I think the jab extensions are very unnecessary. I don't think this character needs jab extensions. It's more of a Jin stuff. I wouldn't give Devil Jin like Jin type jab stuff. It's perfect electric scale still. I believe it is. Is 4-4-4 the same? No, 4-4-4 is this now. A normal hit launching with punish and combo too. Yeah, 4-4-4 is backboard 4 now and has a new counted animation. Like this. Domek 1+2, nothing changed about this except that you can go into Minecraft faster now. This dance entry is faster. Yeah, I kind of miss that back to 3-2-1-2 5-hit string he had in older games like Tag 2, I believe. You can play online with this. You can theoretically play against someone using this by using Parsec, I believe. As the fast Tekken 7 unblockable back? No, it isn't, and I don't think it should come back either. Oh, back 1-2 is amazing in this mod. Both back 1-2 and down for 1-2 are amazing in this mod. Love these changes. Very good changes, 10 out of 10. Can you not play against someone online if they also have the mod installed? I'm not sure if that's how it works. Because the way you have to, you have to install it in the moveset extractor, I believe. Not in your Tekken 8 files. Yeah, that's the Tekken 7 knockdown. Yeah, but I still believe it's unnecessary because on those types of frame situations, you can buffer the 4-4 as well. All it does is make it a frame slower. If you're skilled enough to buffer the 4-4. Yeah, standing forward gives a counter knockdown. But I said already, this move will never be useful unless you change the situation on block. This has to be neutral, like +2 on block for it to be actually useful. -5 is just a horrible number. This move used to be +5 of pushback back in the day. Yeah, there's no reason to use this right now over the electric. It's the main issue with the move. Man, I would kill to have the sweep range back. Without the launching sweep, of course. I already talked about CD1+2 changes. There's quite a bit. Yeah, I also didn't understand the 2+3 change, I just skipped it. I don't think up 1+2 will hit bearish, no.
Get ready for the next battle.
Oops. Done. Wait, I'm stupid, I didn't import the mod yet. One second, I'll check again. Oh, it does actually hit bears. Never mind, I take back what I said. Yeah, the reason they didn't lower the heat burst hitboxes on some characters here is because otherwise you could chain electrics into heat burst combos too easily. It's a mod, Arsenic. Yeah. That's the reason why Kazuya has a shit heat burst these days, you know? He used to have a really good heat burst in the beta, I believe. I beg, you two, I beg. Remove that voice sending free charge. It's the worst shit I've ever seen. Genuinely, there's no reason for this to exist except make your Wisting free slower. There's no way of just framing your Wisting free as long as that charge exists. What's Devil Jin's back turn combo for 1 to 3? Just go for dash 1+4. Yeah, that Wisting free charge. I can get behind it on 1 charge just fine, but the Wisting free charge needs to fucking go. It will annoy so many Devil Jin players. You're gonna ruin so much muscle memory. Yeah, I wouldn't change much. The mod will get broken by the Season 3 update, guaranteed. But if you ever decide to update the mod or make another mod in the future, please remove that Wisting free charge. It's the only thing where I'm like, this needs to go ASAP. Anything else is super fine. When is Season 3 coming out? I believe the 17th of March. I'm gonna upload this to YouTube. Yeah, I'm gonna try to cut it together. Oh, this might work actually.
Get ready for the next battle.
No. That CD3 is still a horrible move. Don't use. That move is just fundamentally not good. No, I don't think electrics should stay the way they are. Just revert the riff recovery change from Season 3 back then. Make it recover 3 frames slower on Rift, then it will be fine. What do you think about Lee? Carried as fuck. His Legacy's extension used to be 1 to 4, which is a very useless 10 frame string. But I don't think you need to remove that necessarily. Some characters are supposed to have some useless stuff. No, it doesn't. Only gives something if you actually go into stance. You know what you could do? That would be very cool, actually. Make it so that CD3 plus 4 has less range, and after a strong aerial tailspin like that, it lands on the third active frame. That way you could chain that with voice standing too. Yeah, but what if you made it tip range only? So it would have to have spatial awareness for this to work. What, yeah, that voice standing 3 would probably be an issue. I get that. No, I mean in combos. There's something I wanted to try. Yeah, but this is like plus 13 in combos. Wait. Yeah, okay, now this has only 2 active frames. No, the crouch version has 3 active frames. Yeah, I get that. Unlucky, but it was an idea. Excuse me eating. I can check that out. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't think it does. I don't think they changed much about up 4, if even anything. Still the same. It can stay the same. Oh god, I hate that charge so much. No, your combos don't stay the same. How do you feel about up 1 plus 2 hitbox being lowered? If I had to be really honest, I think up 1 plus 2 shouldn't be changed. Because the reason up 1 plus 2 is so great for combos is because it does more damage than your electric, and you need awareness on where it actually functions and where it doesn't. Basically, I think up 1 plus 2, it doesn't have to work on bears. You have other combo roads that work on bears. The reason this character sucks against bears is most of your lows just don't work, and that sweep revert change will make it work more reliably against bears. So that's fine already. But up 1 plus 2 doesn't necessarily have to work against bears. Especially with the moment for 4-1 buff, you will have different combo roads that work against bears to begin with. I think up 1 plus 2 is special because of its damage, so it should stay the same, and you don't have to buff the hitbox necessarily. What's the standard safe combo now? That's a great question. I have no clue. Oh yeah, I guess this is a thing now. I do KBD inputs for my backdash. Oh god. I guess I can make this work actually, 1 second. Well, I guess you can still get around 90 damage. Brother, I downloaded Resident Evil 9 today, and my SSD is crying for mercy. It barely has any space. So no, I did not download that song. Let me enjoy my mid games, man. Mid is still better than Tekken 8. How do your fingers not get tired? You get used to it at some point. Almost reaches. It's an insane offer. Unlucky. I was also thinking about 4-2-4, but it doesn't make much difference between that and my standing free, does it? How much damage is this even? 31. How much? 38. Oy. Yeah, that while running busting free charge is generally the only thing I'm nitpicky about to that degree. Like, it's the only thing I want to see gone ASAP, because it just messes with people's muscle memory. There's nobody out there that likes changes like that. Remember how they changed Jin's 2144 to be -12 instead of launch? People still try to launch it. It's just what trying to mess with muscle memory does to someone. No, actually it never used to count that launch. Matter of fact, in Tekken 7 it didn't even do anything on count it. Just gave you more plus frames. It used to count that launch in the Tekken 8. What is it called? Was it CBT? Yeah, thanks for the follows. Yeah, Jin's stomach 4 used to count at launch in the early seasons. You can see D1 just fine. I'm trying a wall carry option here. Honestly, you could probably just go 2-4 again, get insane carry. This 1+2 connect, that's a good question actually. Let me try. Oh, barely doesn't reach. No, why sending 1-1 and there is whole dog shit for wall carry, bro? I'm never gonna do that. Unfortunate. Yeah, I don't think he needs more strong aerial tailspins. Devil Jin is already the character with the most strong aerial tailspins, I believe. You have up forward 1, westerning 1-1, you have flyer 1, you have morning crow 4-1. I hate using back 4-2 free full wall carry, you know, but I can try. Oops. Does work. Same damage as 4-2-3, I believe. Back 4-2-1-2 would be 7 damage more. 1 damage more. I'm eating vegetables, dude. This is 10 damage. In combos it as an ender. This is 9 damage. A laser scraper is 9. Well, that works, I guess. Oh, I never tested that, you know. Got this one before you ruined combos. That's a bit. This is probably too slow. I guess that's the second hit of his can fan, huh? Almost. The 2-2 works as well. One 2 would probably work, but that's an ender I don't want to go for if I can avoid it. Well, this works. Thanks for the follow. I guess this is a pretty cool combo, the one I just showed. I'll just check if this works from straight X's as well. Yeah, it does. You don't need the up laser routes anymore since it's the same damage as electric. Only need it after like Westerning 2 where it changes routes. Thanks for the follow. That monitor for one fix would go a long way, you know. Would love to see it in game in season 3. There's a Spinner-Rooney effect. Also, the patch note said the second hit was supposed to do 30 damage. Is it intentional that it only does 20? Will you upload it to YouTube? I'll try to supercut it. Like, cut the 1 hour where I extensively talk about moves and combos. 30 is wrong? Okay, makes sense. Okay. That's the mod in a nutshell, though. And to anyone interested, I heavily recommend trying it out for yourself. It's pretty fun to just try it out, see what you can do with it. The combos are pretty fun to do. And just figuring the mod out in itself is a joy. So yeah, once again, big shout out to Brains and Overflow. Really cool mod. Okay, time to rate someone. It's getting late here. Thanks for watching, everyone. Despite it only being a mod showcase, I had quite a lot of fun streaming this. Yeah, I saw the updated patch notes. Yeah, I'm getting off Thunder, buddy. What's good, buddy? Hope you're doing well. Glad to hear that first. Okay, I'm gonna raid someone. Who am I raiding now? Do I just raid Kane and Trench? He's pretty fun to watch.
Launcher?
1 second into the stream on a Tekken 8 ranked player and they're already complaining, bro. Thank God I'm not playing ranked right now. It's a mod made by Umin. Can check him out. He uploaded it publicly. Yeah, shout out to you both. It's an amazing mod. I'll try to make a video about it maybe tomorrow, the latest like next week after I'm done with Resident Evil 9. So I'm gonna upload it eventually. Thanks again for the mod once again. Thanks for the stream as well. Thanks for watching everyone. No, I don't really buy many Tekken shop outfits. Okay. Peace, peace, peace. Bye bye. Have fun over at Canyon Trend stream.